Hello and welcome to another episode of Lexx Education. It's the wrong coughed. I'll edit it out, but I want you to know that's why that perfect intro got mangled. It's a podcast. Hi, Ron.
Hi. I did cough. I did a big cough.
Why did you do that?
Because I had an itchy tickle in my throat.
Ugh. Do you think other podcasters like cough and the other one just carries on and then they edit out the cough and it doesn't matter?
I don't know. You see all these videos of podcasters these days doing their podcasts, and they'll be in the same room talking into microphones, and I just don't know how that works. Like, how's it not picking it up on both mics? Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy. Sometimes with Tom and Tom, though, you hear the faint noises of the other one in the other mic, you know? Like, you'll hear one of them sneeze, but it's very obviously just what it's caught through, say, Tom's mic, if it's Tim sneezing.
Yeah, I guess, because because they're in the same room, I suppose it is just perfectly synced up. So when you're hearing me speak, it's covered up by what you're speaking. I guess I've just worked it out.
Listen up, listeners. It's my last day, half a day in New Zealand today. Fly home tonight. I've got one of those weird days where we're just sort of packing and charging things and trying to stop the children from unpacking and unplugging things. And we're eating all the weird stuff that's left over in the flat.
What's been left over?
We've got a weird hummus and rice concoction to have for lunch.
That sounds good.
Kind of. If we had anything to go with it to make it into, but it's literally just cooked rice mixed up with hummus.
My friend Betho makes a delicious pasta salad where sort of the base of the dressing is hummus.
Yeah, Ron, and great. If we had all of those other ingredients, delightful. We have not. We've got half a tub of hummus and a lot of basmati rice.
You could get something to go with it.
Yeah, but then we'd be wasting that too. So then we might as well
get a small amount of something.
We won't though, Ron.
Get like 1 tin of sweet corn or 1 bell pepper.
How in the hell is a tin of sweet corn added to the mix, improving this nasty situation?
I did forget that you see no worth in vegetables. I'm sorry.
Listen though, sweet corn is that's wrong for rice and hummus.
I think sweet corn would be nice in the rice and the hummus.
No, it's sweet. It's a sweet corn. You don't want...
Ugh. You know how I think you've got a childish mouth and you should eat foods that you don't like more?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried... Is it pronounced tempeh or tempo? Like the sort of...
No, I haven't.
It's like made out of fermented soybeans, and it looked like tofu but different. So I decided to give it a go the other day.
Yeah.
And it was so bad that I tried some out the pan while I was cooking it and had to like spit it into the bin.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then I fished out every single chunk of it out of my dinner and threw it all away.
Wow.
Yeah, which as you know, for me that is.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Oh, that's given me flashbacks to that Szechuan dinner that we made.
Yeah. That was fucking awful.
My sister-in-law was looking at the recipe for that the other day, though, and she was like, that is a lot of Szechuan. I think there's a mistake in there. It's younger sister
Megget.
of the podcast. It's me.
Tell her I said, hi, Megget.
He says, hey, Megget.
Hey, Ronit.
You heard.
I did hear.
She
Wish
said
someone
that was
would
a
bring me
lot
a
of
cup of tea.
Szechuan, so I think there's a mistake in that recipe.
No, I think it's supposed to be spicy.
That was too spicy, Ron. I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, because you're a fucking idiot.
And then I had Szechuan poisoning for like 4 weeks afterwards.
You didn't have Szechuan poisoning.
I was ill for ages.
You're just weak.
No, Ron. I had Szechuan poisoning. It's a thing.
So this is an episode.
Yeah, it's about nuclear stability. And I don't think we cover a lot of ground, but what we cover, I really remember, and it went in. It helps that we recorded the follow-up episode to this yesterday, so it's firmly in my brain.
Oh my God, are we only that far ahead?
What do you mean, Ron?
Like we only recorded the quiz for this?
No,
I've
like the
edited
next
both of these.
physics, episode.
Oh, okay. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm going away for ages.
Yeah. No, we did the next physics episode, which
Yes.
built on this knowledge, as you love to say.
Yeah. You'll see when you upload it, my notes in there. It's a lot about the different tangents we went on.
Yeah, we did go on a lot of tangents, but I had fun. Anyway,
Yeah.
have a good listen and enjoy. Is that pickled eggs?
Pickled gherkins.
Ooh, did you pickle them?
Yeah, I've been getting into my pickling. I was bad at pickling for some time, Laura, and do you want to know why?
You weren't sterilising your jars.
No, I don't sterilise my jars, to be honest.
Whoa.
I just eat the pickles real quick.
Are you just dipping pickles in vinegar? Because that's not pickled.
Nah, but I go through about a jar of gherkins a week, so...
Are you allowed
Just
to eat
doesn't-
that much vinegar? That feels bad for you.
No, they're really low in calories. Pickles are probably one of the best foods for you, right up there with like iron supplements.
But isn't it just full of acid?
Yeah, acid isn't bad for you.
No, but don't you need everything in moderation?
I don't think acid in moderation. I think it's just fine.
Oh, okay. I just would have thought that'd be very bad for your stomach lining.
No, because like the acid in your stomach is hella worse than the pickle vinegar.
Oh, okay. Like, imagine that pickle vinegar's coming down your throat like, I'm the bad boy. I'm pickle vinegar. And gets to your stomach and it's like, who are these cunts? No!
I don't know if the pickle vinegar does think it's a bad gun. It's like, yeah, I'm well hard. I made a gherkin go soft and shriveled.
I reckon in the world of foodstuffs, pickle vinegar would think a lot of itself.
Nah, nothing's like degrading. If anything, the pickle vinegar is the hospice nurse of the food world.
Do you reckon?
Yeah,
But like a stern hospice nurse.
Yeah, like it's keeping them going, but it's it's replacing a lot of what they are.
Yeah. I had some light-hearted chit-chat all lined up ready for the top of this episode, and actually we've gone in a very different direction.
Because like you have like things like ceviche, and that's fish cooked in lime juice. That lime juice is like I've cooked your fish, mate. Now I'm gonna come and cook you. Not I've preserved your gherkins.
Pickle vinegar, the Florence Nightingale of the food world.
Yeah.
How can you reuse the pickle vinegar, or is it a one shot and done?
I think if I sterilize my jars, I might be able to reuse.
I think you need some standards in this pickle hospital that you're running.
I genuinely, I cane through pickles.
I'm going to get you a sterilizer for your birthday.
I don't have the counter space.
Well, you're moving
Also,
soon.
It's my I've got less counter space there. It's my 30th as well. Please
Yeah, I think you need a sterilizer. Yeah. And then all your friends will be like, are you having a baby? Is it for the bottles? And you'll be like, it's for my pickles. I'm going in the other direction.
It's for my preserves. No, anyway, the reason why I sucked at making pickles for a really long time, Laura, is because I made a fatal error.
Yeah.
And I thought white vinegar was the same as white wine vinegar. I was just using the wrong vinegar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you bleaching your pickles? Which one are you supposed to use?
White vinegar, white distilled vinegar.
Right, not white wine vinegar.
No, well, white wine vinegar just got a real strong winey taste to it, which you
Yeah,
don't want in
those
your
are some
pickles.
elite pickles.
Yeah.
You'd have those in the smoking room in a jacket with a cigar.
You'd have them wherever people love bitter, bitter things. Mum's house. Yeah.
Have you experimented with other things? Can you pickle them in port pickled pickles?
I don't think port's super acidic. I'll tell you the other reason why I don't think the pickle vinegar is the bad man of even the vinegars is because you dilute it by half and add lots of sugar.
Oh, it's a cozy, fluffy nurse.
Mm.
In my head, it was a bit Miss Nurse Ratchet, but actually, no.
No, like the vinegar that you put just on your chips or something would be more vinegary.
Yeah. It's poor pickles. Ah, what a lovely way to go, though.
In there with a bit of turmeric, maybe some peppercorns, garlic,
What's the
dill.
peppercorns doing?
Flavour.
How's it getting in?
Diffusion.
I need a wee.
And mustard seeds.
We've done so much pickle chat, I now need a wee. Okay, I have peed.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't know any other podcasts where they just openly go for a piss.
Well,
It's a USP. I'm not criticising. I do it too, as you well know.
yeah.
I'm often getting water.
Always. And if you're not getting it, you're drinking it, mate.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Ron. Our podcast has a very DIY aesthetic. It's you either love it or you hate it, and or you just ignore it. Do you want to hear my chit chat that I had for the top of the show, Ron? Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, what lesson is this? 216.
Physics. I can't believe we're 16 episodes into A-level.
Why don't I have any? Oh, that's why. I saw on a thing that Michael Schur and Amy Poehler are making a new show together.
Oh.
It's called The Dig, I think.
About paleontologists?
Not really sure. Didn't read very much of it. Let's have a look.
Not a 2021 drama history with Rafe Fiennes and Carrie
it's
Mulligan?
just called Dig, sorry, not The Dig. Based on a Kate Myers novel, Excavations.
So when I type in dig into my Google our Google, I suppose, for the podcast, 2 previous searches, Digging Jim and Digital Dan, Analog.
Oh, Ron, it is about archaeology. 4 women working at an archaeological dig in Greece are at wildly different crossroads in their life. When the team uncovers a long-buried secret with the potential to rewrite history, they find themselves at the center of a high-stakes international conspiracy.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah.
I'm watching the 2nd season of The Rehearsal at the moment, and I can't recommend it enough. It's insane.
The Rehearsal. Have I
Yeah,
seen
it's
that?
you should watch it. It's Nathan Fielder from
Oh,
Nathan
yeah,
For
you love him.
He's so funny.
Younger sister of the podcast and I watched 6 out of 8 episodes of one series last night. That's a lot of TV for us.
Of what?
The 4 seasons. It's new on Netflix, and it's Tina Fey. And it's a recreation of an old Alan Alda film, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very middle-aged. Very appropriate for us. We loved it. We've got 2 more to watch, but quite frankly, it got to 11:05 and we were both exhausted.
You guys are cool.
Yeah, boy.
All right, Laura. Should we dive into some stuff?
Yeah. Physics.
You know what I'm going to ask you?
What did we do last time?
Yeah, don't do it in that voice like it's not a reasonable question.
What did we do? Oh, yeah. It was fun, actually. We did the fundamental forces. We did the shape of the shells. Coulomb.
Shape of the shells?
Yeah, the particle, the electron shells.
That was chemistry ages ago.
Oh. Okay. Okay. We did particles and radiation. SI unit equals charge equals Coulomb. Proton equals 1.6 Coulomb times 10 to the minus 19. Neutron is naught. We did the mass of things. Oh gosh, then it all got big. Then we went into hadrons, quarks, baryons, and mesons.
Yeah, what's a hadron?
It's made of quarks.
Yeah, okay. Cool. We're going some more into nucleuses and radiation.
Ooh.
Gubbins, smaller than atoms.
Subatomic particles.
Subatomic particles, indeed. We're going to talk about nuclear stability a little bit, Laura.
Stability has never been my strong point.
Maybe I should check we've done all of the last bit.
Oh yeah, it would be so great if you knew what we were doing.
Shut up. You swan up to these sessions and you just expect me to have done everything.
Yep.
Oh God. Oh no. All right, let me read this real. We'll do that next time.
But we won't. That was a real Ron Howard moment there, wasn't it?
All right, we're going to talk about nuclear stability. I can wrap this in. We're going to talk about nuclear stability today, Laura. The first thing that we're going to learn when we're talking about nuclear stability is a little bit of notation, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to be talking a lot about isotopes because different isotopes of atoms react in different ways. They have different stabilities.
Feel my brain switching off. I'm going to a fish market today.
For fish?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a fish story for you. So usually on Mondays, I go over to sports correspondent Max's house, and we play Dungeons and Dragons.
Rad
Friend
dudes.
Friend of the podcast, Noah, dials in from Germany. Danny Pack comes over from his house nearby. We have a lovely time. We try and do sort of semi-communal dinners. Everyone brings a little bit of something. We make it when we're there. It's all real nice.
Noah's just licking his webcam.
He's a filthy vegan, so he eats tofu and rice, I think, most days. I wanted to do a big cook yesterday, so I whipped out the Mezcal cookbook that you bought me. Probably my favourite cookbook I've ever owned. Love it.
Yes.
If I had one criticism of it, I think she uses the same flavour profile too much. Lots of it is chipotle, cumin and lime. But that's just me. I decided to make the prawn croquettes. With jalapenos, chives. It's delicious. A bit of an annoying bit. I was reading the recipe and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm surprised that you throw all of the milk in there at once. If I was to guess, I'd say you should pour in the milk a little bit at a time. Poured in all the milk at once. It went bad. Should have done it with my intuition, you know. But anyway, so I go through all of this. I've bought maybe 6 pounds of prawns. I've made
Illables or GBP?
GBP.
Okay.
I've made it into the croquettes. This is 20 minutes before I'm supposed to be at Max's. He goes, I'm in Northampton this week, so I'll be dialing in. So then I just had to eat loads of prawn croquettes for dinner. I didn't really have a proper dinner because all I ate was prawn croquettes.
So you just ate 1 million croquettes?
Yeah, it was like at least 10.
That sounds delicious.
It was really good. It was a really bougie beige tea.
Yeah. Did you air fry them?
No, deep fat fried them.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, because of this milk debacle, as previously mentioned, the mixture was a lot looser than I would have wanted it to be. So I did try and air fry them, but they sagged and gooped.
Yeah, sometimes the air fryer like blasts things apart. You cannot do tempura in an air fryer.
No, you can't.
You end up with a tempura pancake at the bottom and naked food.
Yeah. But they were delish. Can't recommend that cookbook enough. The prawn lasagna was a massive hit. I made pancetta pappardelle from it the other day. Wasn't mind blowing, but only took 15 minutes, and it was very good for something that only took 15 minutes.
All right. Well, it's been a while since you came to my house and cooked for me. Let's rectify that.
Yeah. I've actually found a way that I can get work to pay for me to come to your house again. I've got a client in Brighton, so I just organise meetings with them. Well, she's in Eastbourne, which is a bit of a fuck, but oh well.
But
anyway,
if you've got free accommodation in Brighton, that saves the company money.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to cuddle that client, keep them safe.
I think he's a good client. Yeah. Anyway, Laura. So we need a little bit of a notation for describing the different nucleuses that we want to talk about, okay?
We sure do, Ron. You can't speak eloquently without a language.
Well said. Hear, hear. So the way that we do this, what I want you to draw is a big X. And then to the top left of it, a capital A, small.
Capital A, but small. Yep.
And then underneath that A, a small capital Z.
Well, listen, a capital Z and a baby Z are the same thing.
So?
So you can't say a small capital Z because just a small Z is fine.
Well, I can say it because it still gets the point across.
It's the same.
Yeah. So?
There's no need to say capital.
This isn't making you seem cool or clever. This is a bad look for you.
No, it's not, because it's already a bit of a head slam to say a small capital A, because a small A is normally a separate thing. So that was already a head wibble, and then you said a small capital Z, and I was like, wait, what's a capital Z? And I think of a zebra when I think of a Z, so that was difficult.
What's the zebra got to do?
What did you say?
I said, what's the zebra got to do?
Well, because for a second I was like, am I supposed to draw a zebra?
Why would you draw a zebra?
Because
Zebras
that's what
don't look
Z
like
is.
Zs. But they don't look like Zs.
No, but they do. The pattern is kind of Z-ish. Zip, zoop, zoop. They're all covered in zip, zips.
I could imagine a Z with zebra stripes, but...
Yeah, but I think you could imagine a Z on a zebra.
No.
Yes.
An N, maybe.
Yeah, and say you're lying on the ground with your head on your side. That's going to look like a Z.
Yeah, but now we're a far cry from the zebra that we're imagining. Look, Laura, the king of letters is obviously the S, because the S looks like a snake, and snake starts with an S, and they say "sa."
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, like that's what you don't try and make Z the prince of letters. Z is a F tier letter.
Can I tell you my guilty secret about Z?
Do you call it Z in your head?
I think it makes much more sense to call it a Z. I think Z is far better.
I'm not a purist when it comes to like UK spelling. I'm kind of with the Americans that we don't need U's everywhere.
Yeah. I'd agree.
And if you were to write something like, I don't know, colorize or something, that's a Z sound, not an S sound.
Maybe we're secret Americans.
Well, at least I was raised by American television in a large part, so.
Yeah, the Z for S doesn't bother me so much, but
Oh, it doesn't bother me. I'm
just
like,
you get to the end of the alphabet, Z makes way more sense than Z.
Yeah, because it's not like there's any other letters that, it's not A, bed, said, dead.
Ed,
Ed.
fed, ged, head, jed, id, ked, led, med, ned.
That would be Med Ned Od Eleanor.
Led, med, ned, odd, ped. Anyway.
Can you show me what you drew when I was giving you that janky ass description?
I did it.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that was my mistake. The Z's at the bottom of the X.
Oh, you said under the A.
Yeah, I did, because in the drawing that I'm looking at of it, it is under the A because the A is bigger than the one that you've drawn, but I didn't communicate that to you, Laura.
So is it on the left foot of the X?
Yeah, basically. Let me show you what I was describing, and we'll have a top laugh about it.
Oh no.
Are people back?
Oh no, the family's back.
Oh no.
There's a lot of very wet people sneaking back into the flat. Are you being very quiet? You're sneaking. Okay. You're going to sneak under the bed. Okay, what's happened here, Ron, is I've done the X far bigger than the A and the Z.
Yes.
The scale
Yes,
is all off. Okay, I've got it now.
Yeah, but that was my mistake, not yours.
Most of this podcast is.
Ooh, rough. So the Z, Laura, that's going to stand for the proton number, aka the atomic number. Okay?
A is the atomic number.
No, the Z.
Hang on. Right, say that again. I was distracted by a sneaking family.
That's sneaking, fam. The Z, Laura, is the proton number.
That's the other thing, though, Ron. Yes, we piss a lot, but also no other podcast has families sneaking about wetly in the background. And I just think it's part of the rich tapestry that makes this podcast unique. Now the wet family are all getting into a bed. That bed's going to be damp.
All of them?
2 so far. Oh, it was very funny. Yesterday we were on a bus and, what was happening? I think Harris was poking Mim or something. Nephew of the podcast was poking child of the podcast. And then younger sister of the podcast was like, everything you do to her, I'm going to do to you in the middle of the night. Oh, no, sorry, that was husband of the podcast said that, blah, blah, blah. And then younger sister of the podcast leant over and kissed a child of the podcast. And nephew of the podcast went, now Uncle Tom's going to do that to you in the middle of the night.
Did he?
Maybe. He did get up at about 4 a.m. Did he come and kiss you? He did not. He did not. That they're telling me about. So Z is the number of protons, and that's the atomic number.
Yep.
Well, when you've got an A sitting there, why would you make Z mean the atomic number?
Because the A is the nuclide number,
Well,
Laura.
that makes no sense.
Sorry, nucleon number. Do you know what a nucleon is?
The weight of the nucleus.
Sort of, yeah. Well, it's the number of protons and neutrons, basically.
So, yes.
Yeah. In relative mass, yeah.
Yes, I'm so smart. What's X?
Now, that's whatever element we're talking about. So you could have, if that was a C, you'd have carbon.
Got
And
ya.
then you could have a 6 for the Z and a 12 for the A. And that would be our old friend, carbon 12.
We love that tiny mole. Mole, mole. Mo.
So, Laura, the first 20 elements all tend to have sorry, we need to introduce another piece of notation into this. A capital N means the number of neutrons.
Where does that go?
It's not a part of this, it's something else, don't worry about it. But if you see an N, capital N, that's the neutron number. So the first 20 elements
N equals A minus Z.
Yeah, well done. They all tend to have equal numbers of N and Z, okay?
Right.
Protons and neutrons tend to be the same.
In the first 20 elements.
In the first 20, yeah. So Z 1 through 20 tends to be N 1 through 20 at the same time. These are very, very stable, and they're the most common elements in the universe.
The most common elements in the universe.
Can you think why they would be the most common elements
What's
in the
Y
universe?
now? I thought we had A, Z, and N.
First base.
Sorry, say that again, Ron.
Can you think why they'd be the most common elements in the universe?
Because they're not always changing into other things. Because they're fine as they are.
Because they're stable. Absolutely. Yeah.
They're just cracking on. They're living their lives.
And because they're smaller, if other things are decaying, they'll be decaying into them.
Yeah. They don't need to be on social media all the time.
The other one of the real common elements in the universe is iron, which has a Z number of 26 and an N number of 30.
Ooh.
So it's kind of the one that bucks the trend.
Iron. Z26, N30.
Yeah, which I think the reason for that sort of bucking the
Doesn't
trend
iron
a
also
bit,
have a really stupid letter?
Fe.
That's stupid.
I think it was from the Greek or the Latin or something for ferrous. That's like, like a Ferris wheel. A big iron wheel.
Is that where that comes from?
No, absolutely not. It's where like ferrous metals come from, the ones that are attracted to magnets. I believe the reason why iron is so abundant.
Do you reckon
in the
Ferris
universe
was just a guy?
Yeah, like Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
I'm
glad they're not called Bueller wheels.
Was wheel. Ferris wheel Bueller. There's something in that.
I don't know. I think the Ed, Bed, Said, Dead is more something.
Than Ferris wheel Bueller.
Yeah, I just don't know where we're going with Ferris wheel Bueller.
I think a big wheel rolling away from a school, causing havoc in a town. I've never seen Ferris wheel Bueller's Tale.
I can see it as a cutaway gag on The Simpsons.
Yeah, or a 30 Rock kind of.
Yeah.
I can see Tina Fey pulling off that joke.
Yeah. Wow, she was wearing a dress that we really liked in this 4-season show. And so I Googled it. And it was £700. And we both stopped liking it after that.
I think Tina Fey wears a £700 dress to the toilet.
Yeah, but it was like... I mean, it kind of is one of those shows about, like, northeast US couples where money is no object, So you're like, okay, there's a certain level of Hamptons living in this show that you just have to get on board with. But then when she's just just rocking a £700 dress just as a like, oh, this is just the dress I'm wearing, you're like, fuck about.
I started watching Succession.
Oh, yeah, I tried to watch that on the airplane.
I like it, but it's really one note.
Yeah, I assume it's a builder and a grower, but it didn't grip me like other dramas that I love have gripped me.
Yeah, I'm like 5 episodes in. I'm sticking it on and like when I'm doing the washing up, but who knows if I'll finish it. I probably won't. I don't finish shows I like quite a lot. So.
No. I think I'm probably at a similar place to you, and I'm like, I assume this gets really good when the dad wakes up properly.
Oh, I'm at that bit.
He's like groggy awake in the bit that I'm on.
Yeah, no.
He like stuck his daughter's hand on his knob.
Yeah, no, I'm a couple of episodes past that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know if an aeroplane, whilst trying to keep a 3-year-old happy, was the best place to really try and get lost in a drama series.
Succession, yeah. I don't think that's what they imagined when they made the show.
Did I tell you how long it took me to watch one film on the aeroplane?
No.
9.5 hours.
What film?
A Few Good Men.
That's such a weird choice.
It's the most committed to that film anyone has ever been. I watched it in 4-minute bursts over the course of half my flight from Dubai to New Zealand, constantly interrupted by child of the podcast needing stuff.
Why on earth would you watch that?
Well, it was quite good.
You don't like films?
No, but it was really hard to watch Succession.
I really don't think you. I think you especially probably don't like what looks to. Oh no, it's a legal drama.
Yeah, I like
Laura.
a legal drama, Ron. I'm a big fan of a legal drama.
It's a legal drama based on a play.
Yeah, by Aaron Sorkin, though.
Yeah, I'm just
One of
saying
television's greatest writers.
It's very upmarket for you to be watching those kind of. Why didn't you watch some trash? Why were you watching Succession and this?
Because trash wouldn't grip me, you know? And when you've got that much time and you need something that's going to suck you in, like a heavy legal drama about US naval politics.
Oh, it's directed by Rob Reiner.
Who's he? He's not the one from 31st Dates.
No, he's
with the dirty
might
foot.
be. He's he's Jess's dad in New Girl.
Oh, who's Rob Reiner? Hang on, I'm going to have a look. I'm getting him muddled up with Judge Rinder and... Oh, yeah. Yeah,
He's
I recognise
78.
him. Who's Adam Sandler's mate?
Jerry
Rob
Stiller?
Schneider. That's it.
That's so different.
He's
If Rob
different.
Imagine if Rob Schneider directed A Few Good Men. That would be so rogue.
Yeah. I think it'd be a very different film.
Yeah. From the creators of Juice Bigelow. A Few Good Men. Anyway, Laura.
A Few Good Men's dicks.
We used to have. Remember when Megan? I think she turned 12 or 15, and she was allowed to have a 12 or 15 film. And Mum and Dad bought her The Animal with Rob Schneider. And I've seen that film so many times because at the time we had like 4 VHSs that weren't like terrible period dramas that Mum was watching.
I don't know if I know The Animal.
Oh, it's a bad film, and like
It's
they
a
bought it
bad
for her
film.
because she was old enough to watch it, and then I was just watching it, but I'm 5 years younger than her.
I don't remember this film. I must have left home by then.
Anyway, yeah, Laura.
Was he found in a jungle?
No, I can't. He becomes an animal. He meets a girl who's like. And it's really depressing that this is the storyline, but he's like super into the environment and stuff, and then he becomes an animal somehow and wins her over.
By being an animal? Marvin Mange is an evidence clerk at the local Elkerton police precinct who dreams of becoming an officer like his late father. Daddy issues. He repeatedly fails the physical examination, though. He is smitten with environmentalist Rihanna Holmes, but fumbles on a first encounter with her. He meets a mad scientist. He's rescued by Dr. Wilder, who saves his life by replacing his damaged body parts with animal organs. Days
That's it.
later,
Yeah.
Marvin, unaware of what happened, resumes his normal life but discovers that he can now perform extraordinary feats and possesses keen animal-like instincts. Right. Oh, and it ends with somebody getting a Nobel Prize. Wow.
I remember that first meeting that he really messes up with the environmentalist. They're in a bathroom for some reason, and he takes way too many paper towels to dry his hands.
Right. Wow.
Anyway, Laura, after the first 20 elements,
Would that put you off on a date if somebody used loads of paper? Oh, because she's an environmentalist.
yeah, so it's wasting the trees.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. There's a through line.
Anyway, Laura.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes, Ron.
After the first 20 minutes,
Have to let the wet family out the bedroom.
After the first 20 elements, there start being more neutrons than protons in the nuclei.
More neutrons than protons.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you plot all of the elements on a graph with N as the y-axis and Z as the x-axis,
Yeah.
you could do a line of best fit through it. That sort of cuts them all in half, okay?
What?
Some half of the elements above, half of the elements below.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The elements above this line, where they're 10. This is called the line of stability.
Why are you bashing your microphone? What is wobbling on your desk?
Oh, because I'm drawing stuff on the table with my fingers while I'm
Stop doing
distracted.
that. It's an audio medium. We've already been pissing and having families sneaking about. Now you're scraping away.
We've not gone through anything this
No.
episode. The elements above this line, Laura, they will emit beta minus particles.
No, you can't just throw that out. What
Well,
are
you've
the
got
ones
alpha
above
radiation.
the ones above the line have more nucleuses than protons?
Neutrons, yeah, than protons.
So elements with more neutrons than protons.
Well, at this point, they've all got more neutrons than protons, but the ones that have more than average sway towards neutrons above the line of stability, Laura.
Yeah, but I didn't really understand that bit because you didn't show it to me.
Hang on, I'm sending it
No,
now.
I need a wee again.
Well, then we're over. We're done. You've muted your...
Right, you've sent me some sort of graph. Okay, so I've got neutron number going up. I've got proton number going across. The line of stability, yeah, okay, that goes sort of vaguely through the middle. And then you've got...
But you see that the line of stability, it kinks up
Yeah.
after 20.
It goes evenly to 20, and then it gets a little steeper.
Yeah. And then all of the crosses are atoms. All that are above. So you remember there's 3 types of radiation: alpha, beta, and gamma.
Mm-hmm.
So you see up at the top there, the heavy nuclei. They're the alpha emitters. They're all underneath the line of stability.
Yeah.
Then, slightly lower than that, we have all of the beta emitters. The ones on top of the line are the beta minus emitters, and the ones below are the beta positive.
And what is a beta?
A beta radiation is where it emits an electron.
Right.
Do you remember what alpha radiation is?
No.
It's where it emits essentially a helium nucleus, so 2 neutrons and 2
Oh,
protons. The beta minus is normal beta radiation that we think of where it emits an electron. Beta plus is where it emits a positron, which is an antimatter particle electron.
And I think that is a good place to finish.
Okay.
And just give this a little brush over at the beginning of next lesson.
We've done fuck all.
Yeah, but we've had a lovely time.
Yeah, we aren't chatting enough, so we have to chat here.
Yeah, maybe that's the way it should be. All right. We didn't really do much in this episode, so I feel pretty good about quizzing.
Oh yeah, we're doing the quiz.
Yeah.
I was reading the Wikipedia entry for carnivals. That's actually real. It's actually real. There's some good stuff in there. We'll definitely do that to Tentron.
Okay, I'm in.
All right, Laura. Yeah, we did not a lot. So the quiz that we're going to be doing, it really tapered off. So I don't know when you stopped listening. But Laura, what are the 3 different types of radiation?
Alpha, beta, and gamma.
Yep, and what are those?
We did not talk about this.
We have talked about this.
Oh, stop springing stuff from months ago into the quiz. It's evil.
Well, it's about learning, isn't it?
Alpha is when protons get fired out. Beta is when electrons get fired out. And gamma is when a whole... No, wait, I think alpha is when a hydrogen particle gets fired out. I'm going to say that. Beta
What's a hydrogen particle?
It's a... Is it 1 neutron and 1 proton or 2 of each?
Take a look at a periodic table.
Don't have one. Hang on, let me find a periodic table. It's 1.
1 what?
It's just got a weight of 1.
So what is that 1, do you think?
1 proton.
Yeah, hydrogen's just a proton with an electron flying around it.
Great. So I was right. Alpha radiation is a proton.
Yeah, that means you were right.
Alpha radiation is a proton being fired out. Beta is electrons being fired out. And gamma is... what should we call gamma? Neutrons being fired out.
4 marks out of 6.
Okay, happy with that.
Alpha, beta, and gamma are, of course, the different types of radiation. So that was 3 marks, generously. But alpha radiation is a helium nucleus.
Oh, damn it.
Getting fired out. So what's a helium nucleus?
A proton and a neutron.
Where's that coming from? Where have you got... Look at the periodic table.
Yeah, it's got a weight of 2.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it's got a weight of 4.
Yeah.
It's 2 neutrons, 2 protons.
There we go, yeah. That's alpha radiation. Beta radiation, you correctly said, was an electron being fired out. And then gamma radiation is electromagnetic radiation. So it's in the same spectrum of energy as visible light, but just much higher energy.
Right.
A much shorter wavelength, higher frequency.
I'll remember that for next time.
Yeah, I don't think it even really went in then. You were looking off to the distance and it was a... Yeah, it's clear from your vacant expression. All right, Laura. For how many elements does N equal Z?
20.
Yes. What was the exception to that? Like of the common ones that's very stable.
Was it iron?
It was iron.
I remember talking about iron.
Another 2 marks for ye. What's the line of stability, Laura?
Now listen, Ron. That's a line where if you plot all the elements on a graph that's like neutron to proton ratio, the line of stability is like a line that you can draw up the middle of it. Sort of bisects the results that you put on the graph.
And what's the difference between the elements that are above it and below it?
It's the radiation they emit and above the line of immortality they emit, it's opposite kins to what you'd think, they emit beta negative radiation, and if it's down below it's beta positive, and then there was a bunch of yellow ones at the top and I can't remember what they were.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Well done. Where do
Could
the
you
alpha
sound a bit
emitters...
more enthusiastic, please?
Really nice.
Thank you. Your reaction is the same whether I'm a genius or a goose.
No, I'm quite rude if you're a goose. Where do the alpha emitters sit?
Oh, are they the weird yellow ones at the top?
Yeah, that actually was my my next question even before you said that. So, lucky bins for you.
Not lucky bins, smart bins.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Hey,
really
thanks, brah.
Really well done, dude. Yeah, that's the quiz then.
I smashed that, and there is so little enthusiasm coming off you.
I'll be honest, look, I'm still reading about carnival.
Well, we're back to the delightful backdrop sound of my child screaming in fury at her aunt.
I thought what we could do in the outro here, Laura, was we could just decide together what this episode's going to be called.
Okay.
So your options are milk debacle.
Ooh.
Hospice nurse of the food world. Covered in zub-zubs. Med Ned Od Ped. That sneaking family, or sneaking about wetly.
I think Med Ned Od Ped made me laugh the most. It's not good for our search engine optimization.
No.
But it is
good. But it's
good.
any of this?
No. I don't know who this is good for, but it's not humans.
But as people can tell from when I was reading those out, we make ourselves laugh.
Oh, the sneaking wet family.
That was a great bit.
That was a good bit. I'm glad that my trip to New Zealand has been immortalised in records.
Like all of the interesting swathes of our lives.
Well, I do think if we ever did a listen back, it would be because we did accidentally capture two of the biggest moments in our lives in podcasting. Like your year of
Grief
heartbreak.
Summer.
Yeah, Grief Summer, and my first year of motherhood. And it's all just there in recorded. And then us finding our feet again and cracking on. It's quite an interesting time capsule.
We could do a listen back thing on the Patreon. We listen back to episodes and discuss it.
Yeah, that's fun. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening. You've been wonderful, as ever. I just want to do
Listen up,
another big
guys.
shout out to 2 listeners. Georgina, who I met up with in Wellington. Hello to you, and thank you very much for a delicious breakfast. And next time, more sightseeing. And another huge thank you to Lindsay, who just saved our bacon by lending us a load of toys here in New Zealand so that the kids were entertained when they were at home. We're so grateful, and thank you so much.
And I just want to say we haven't had many registers to do recently, which is fine. Times are hard. This podcast is mid at best. But if you wanted to get a shout out and contribute to the show, even if you can't afford or just don't want to join the Patreon, a 5-star review with some nice words would go a long way, helps more people find the podcast as well.
Yeah.
And we'll give you a shout out in this sort of segment here now.
And sharing it on social media is so helpful. I do think the Discord was the death sentence to this podcast, because as soon as all the chat about how much fun it was went behind a paywall, it's been very hard to pick up new listeners. So any sharing you can do out in the big wide world, although I do also appreciate that our listeners are the sort of people that don't want to talk to anybody in the big outside world, because we're all insular folk. But hey, we love you, and we'll see you next week. Which probably actually next week the intro will just be me, maybe with youngest sister of the podcast or husband of the podcast, because Ron is disappearing off for a couple of weeks, and where I have to drag my microphone around to just record for when I'm away, Ron chooses not to.
Yep. Ron celebrates a healthy work-life balance. Goodbye. I mean, class dismissed.
Oh,